What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the Madden Rebuild King here, with part 2 of our series for the Cleveland Browns franchise rebuild. As we go ahead and get into the free agency period, you can see we have around $7 million in cap space. Christian McCaffrey available, along with Austin Hooper, Richard Sherman, Kenny Golladay, Keanu Neal, Laramie Tunsil. So some big names there. We did lose Olivier Vernon to free agency, so would have been nice if we could have replaced him, but as you can see, those contracts are going to be a little bit too high for us. We could use a strong safety. Not going to have enough to offer for him. 57 points. Just going to take that contract back. Could sign Tedrick Thompson. Could be a solid safety for us, but not really worth. Jabbar Shear, 32, could be a nice player to add for one season. Muhammad Wilkerson, Carlos Dunlap. So we might have to bring in a veteran defensive end. Just save us from having to pick a defensive lineman in this upcoming draft. Go ahead and offer Muhammad Wilkerson 64 points. See if we can get him. So haven't heard anything back yet. And he rejected the contract offer, as we have a 5th-year option here. Baker Mayfield, that's a no-brainer. We're going to be bringing him back for sure. Fresh off a Super Bowl win. And we also have Denzel Ward. Same thing. One of our core pieces to this team. It's not even an option to not bring him back. Going to go ahead and simulate to the draft. And we get into draft week. The 2021 draft is officially underway. And the Minnesota Vikings have the first pick. Going to skip to the next pick just to see who they draft. And they get Trevor Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson. Solid pick for them. As the Saints go wide receiver, they get St. Brown. Jalen Waddle still on the board. C.J. Verdell. Baron Browning was available. Go ahead and look at some defensive line prospects. Monty Rice still on the board. Baron Browning is an interesting one. We could maybe move him down to defensive end. As you see, he's top 3 in most categories for outside linebacker. We go ahead and select him. 40 in true value. We get him at pick 32. 73 overall. Star or better development. So, nice pick right there. Going to go ahead and get into the second round. And this is maybe where I'll take a defensive lineman right here just to see if we can hit on someone. As you can see, a lot of corners still available. Couple linebackers. Joe Theory still on the board. Go ahead and get Sylvester McBride, 69 overall. Normal development. It's a horrible pick. And after that pick, I'm just going to go ahead and see what the trade offers are. Try to get some picks for the next draft. The Patriots offering a 3rd round for next year. The Packers giving up a 3 and a 7. We'll go ahead and take that deal right there. As we get into our next pick, going to be the same thing as the last one. Going to go ahead and look for a draft pick for next season. we get one from the Oakland Raiders. And we trade 4-4-4 with the Indianapolis Colts. And now we're going to just go ahead and simulate. Going to skip to the end of the draft. Get into our upcoming season. And hopefully we can repeat as Super Bowl champions. That would be nice. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the preseason. Go ahead and check out our starting lineup. Get Baker Mayfield up to an 81 overall. Wow. We drafted a fullback with star or better development, which is crazy. Offensive line looks solid. We didn't get a right tackle, but overall, offensive line looks solid. Defensive line is solid. Could have used another safety. We did get Baron Browning. Going to go ahead and switch him to defensive end. Starting opposite Myles Garrett. Hopefully his overall doesn't drop too drastically. And he only went down 2 points from a 73 to a 71 overall. We put him at left end. Hopefully he can relieve some of that pressure off Myles Garrett. Help him get double-digit sacks again. And Mike Ford is 26 years old, cornerback. Might go ahead and switch him to safety, as he should be an upgrade over the safety that we had starting. And yeah, 69 overall. Go ahead and simulate to midseason. See where our team is. Hopefully they're doing well. As we get into midseason, as you can see, Myles Garrett is up for a contract extension also. But we are currently 5-3, second in the division to the to the Baltimore Ravens. We are the Cleveland Browns. 1,824 yards for Baker Mayfield, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. 705 yards, 8 touchdowns for Nick Chubb, 1 touchdown for Baker Mayfield, 2 for A.J. Dillon. 553 yards, 2 touchdowns for OBJ, 445, 2 touchdowns for Henry Ruggs. So, spreading the ball around pretty well. 7.5 sacks for Myles Garrett, 4 for Sheldon Richardson, 4 for Larry Ogunjobi. So we're getting a decent amount of pressure. Not too many interceptions. As you can see, everyone only has 1 interception, but we are 4th in the NFL in total offense, which isn't bad at all. And as you see, the fullbacks development trade is still hidden, and so is Baron Browning's. So we're going to go ahead and try to negotiate with some of our big name players before the end of the season, just in case they want higher salary or something and we don't end up losing out on them. As Myles Garrett resigns, which is huge. As you can see, he's in the high 90 overalls. Nick Chubb, 93 overall, superstar X Factor. We want to bring him back too, of course. Huge season he had last season. On pace for another 1,000+ yard rushing season. Gonna also bring back David Njoku, 83 overall, star development. And Sheldon Richardson, we're probably going to let go as he's going to be 31 at least by the end of the next season, by the start of the next season. So it's probably going to start to regress. We're going to go ahead and simulate to the playoffs, see where our team is. Hopefully we can come back and take the division from the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, which we end up do not doing, but we do make the wild card. At 11-5, we finished 1 game back to the Baltimore Ravens. Finished 7th in total offense. 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for Baker Mayfield, 71% completion percentage. 1,279 yards, 14 touchdowns for Nick Chubb. Another huge season, 4 touchdowns for A.J. Dillon, 3 for Mayfield, 2 for Matt Breida. Kellen Mond got in and got 2 rushing touchdowns also. Almost 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns for OBJ, 6 touchdowns for David Njoku, 6 touchdowns for Jarvis Landry, 3 touchdowns for Henry Ruggs III. All 3 of those guys with 720 plus receiving yards. Joe Sherbert leads the team in tackles for the 2nd season in a row. We get 14.5 sacks for Myles Garrett, which is nice. 6 for Sheldon Richardson, 5.5 for Larry Ogunjobi. 2 interceptions for Mack Wilson, 2 for Mike Ford, 2 for Xavier McKinney. And we got a couple players that came in with 1 interception. So not too bad at all. And in the wild card round, we will be facing off against the 8-8 New England Patriots. We're going to go ahead and advance the week. We barely get by the 8-8 Patriots, 21-14. Go ahead and look at our schedule just to show you we didn't get any forced wins. You know, we're not cheating. You know, I see some people do forced wins on here. They say they don't like the simulation mode, but you know, if you miss the playoffs, you just miss the playoffs. Please comment below how you feel about people giving their team forced wins to make the playoffs. Let me know if you like it or dislike it down below in the comments. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. Comment below if you would like to see me rebuild your favorite team or see me draft your favorite player on one of my rebuilds. As we get into the game with the Baltimore Ravens, we start off 7-0. They go right back down the field and answer. Baker takes us back down the field. And we have 2 red zone opportunities in a row that only end in field goals, which is tough as Lamar Jackson goes down, scores 2 touchdowns back to back. The offense finally wakes up and gets a touchdown. We have a 7-point lead. A little bit over 2.5 minutes left. Another red zone opportunity. We get the field goal. Lamar Jackson scores again. The game ends 31-28. Close game. We barely squeaked by. As you can see, Lamar Jackson had 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. Must have ran the ball exceptionally well too. We go ahead and auto-upgrade our players. I'm going to go ahead and advance to next week, see who we're playing in the AFC Conference Championship game. And it is the 12-4 Indianapolis Colts. As you can see, they got Chris Jones and Calais Campbell along with T.Y. Hilton as their best 3 players. So, defensively, they're looking pretty okay, especially with the front 4 on the defensive line with Calais Campbell. He's still a stud. He's got to be about 35 now. As you can see, Travis Etienne Jr. had a huge season, over 1,000 yards rushing. As my controller went dead once again. But as you can see, the Colts get out to an early 14-0 lead. It's not looking too good for us. The offense finally wakes up, scores a touchdown, as the Colts come right back down and answer. We do the same. 14-21, 21-21. We come back and tie the game up. Get another touchdown to take the lead. And another touchdown to go up 14. A little bit of taste of their own medicine. As they go down and score again, we score again. And that's how the game ends. 42-28. Was a super close game into the 4th quarter. When we got to pull away a little bit, we get the 14-point win. As you see, Marcus Mariota had a huge Huge game. 80% completion percentage. Hold on. He only had 8 incompletions. 2 of them were interceptions, but 411 yards, 4 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield had 5 touchdowns, so not to be outdone. Go ahead and auto upgrade our players. As you can see, Denzel Ward has passed 90 overall. Go ahead and simulate to the Super Bowl, and we will be facing Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. And I believe we did face them last year also in the Super Bowl, which is crazy. No, we played the Saints last year. Yeah, in part 1 of this series, we played the Saints. So now we play Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. You see, he had a huge season, 30 touchdowns, but he did throw 15 interceptions. As we start off slow once again, down 14-0 for the second straight week. Team has just not been playing well in the first and second quarter. As you can see, we go ahead and jump in here. 4th and 4. We got to get the first down here. Field goals not looking like they're going to help us this game with how easy they're going down the field. As Odell Beckham comes up with a huge catch for us. Now, as you can see later on in the game, we get back into the game, 14-20. Go ahead and take the lead. 21-20. We get the lead finally. And this is a crucial third down right here. We absolutely have to have it. And he throws the interception. Wow. I had David Njoku wide open. Tried to force the ball to OBJ. And Bobby Wagner wasn't having any of it. As we go down and exchange field goals, we take a 3-point lead with a little under 2 minutes left. Like you see, Seattle marches right back down the field, ties the game up. Looking like this one is going to go into overtime if we can hold them. They are on the 3-yard line, but they do have 2 touchdowns and Russell Wilson, so anything can happen. Hopefully our defense can hold up here as they start off with a run to Chris Carson. Gets about 10 yards there. So not a good start for us defensively on this last drive. And surprisingly, they don't take a timeout. Maybe because they didn't get the first down yet. As you can see, Joe Sherbert burst right through the offensive line. Huge sack for us. And we will actually use a timeout now. Probably should have took one a little earlier, but didn't know if we were going to be able to hold them or not. So we're going to bring the blitz right here. 3rd and 8. As Chris Carson tries to bounce to the outside. Nice wrap-up tackle from our defensive back right there. As you can see, it's 21 seconds left. We probably should have tried to block this punt just so they could bring their coverage in a little bit more, but still need a huge return here from A.J. Dillon, who is our punt returner. And not bad at all. We get down to the 45-yard line. Probably going to need about 10 yards. Not even to get in the field goal range. Looks like about 8 yards. 37-yard line is the target for our kicker. So just not going to try to do anything crazy here. And another interception for, oh my goodness. We had David Njoku wide open on the corner post. Probably should have threw it there. Tried to force the ball into Jarvis Landry. And it didn't work out at all. As you can see, Seattle gets the ball. They're down in scoring position. We really need a turnover. As Joe Sherbert comes up with a huge interception right there. And can he go? No. Russell Wilson is just too fast. If that was any other quarterback, this game probably would have ended with that interception right there. But as it's Russell Wilson, he does catch him. But the second huge play of the game for Joe Sherbert. So he's really having a huge game. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Von Miller versus the Carolina Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Getting a turnover and a huge sack in crunch time. So we start off on the ground with Nick Chubb just to keep the defense honest. But they weren't fooled at all. Gonna go ahead. David Njoku. Huge catch for him. We're almost in field goal range. Definitely don't want to do anything stupid this time. Especially after the last interception when we were down in field goal range, which could have ended the game in regulation. And we wouldn't even be in overtime, but... And, wow. Bobby Wagner almost jumped that route and came up with another interception. He's just been everywhere, so we're just going to go ahead and try to run the ball. And we switch out of it. Nice catch for Henry Ruggs, but we lose yardage. We get the face mask call. Huge penalty for us. Pete Carroll has to be absolutely frustrated over there on the sideline with that defensive back, as that one is going to cost them the game. We win the Super Bowl 32-35. We barely escape. Russell Wilson looking for another Super Bowl win. As you can see, he had a huge game, 407 yards, 3 touchdowns. And before we end this video, we are going to go ahead and look at the yearly awards. See if any of our people won any awards. But most likely, we probably just got snubbed like we did last season. And even when we did win awards last season, we didn't get any development upgrades from it. So, as you see, Justin Herbert and Justin Fields finished 1 and 2 in the MVP voting. Baker Mayfield finishes 9th for best quarterback. Get Myles Garrett 2nd for defensive player of the year. JT Daniels wins offensive rookie of the year. Defensive rookie of the year goes to Micah Parsons. We get Baron Browning in the top 5, which is pretty solid. Nick Chubb gets snubbed once again for best running back. Get OBJ at number 9 for best wide receiver. J.J. Watt beats out Myles Garrett for best defensive lineman. Best linebacker, we have no one nominated. Best defensive back goes to Marcus Peters.